Hello, everyone. It's glad to be back talking to you again. I'm going to start out by talking about last week's assignments a little bit. We are new to groups, learning how to do groups on Moodle. I think it's really important that we, as Drury, as an instructor and as our institutional designer, learn to do that, because otherwise you would be trying to have discussion boards with 26 people, and we're trying to lower those so there's 3 or 4 people in each group, and you can actually have beneficial conversations with them. The other thing I want to tell you is that your debates about Walmart were incredible. I think we all have differing feelings about Walmart. We may have love-hate relationships about them. I personally don't love to shop at Walmarts because they're huge stores, but I do like the fact that they serve so much of our society. They employ a lot of people. I know one of the debates is they don't necessarily treat their employees great, but when people are looking for a job, Walmart almost always has jobs. So it's a back and forth. Sam Walton had a dream when he started it, and his family is now running the corporation. I don't foresee Walmart going away. So I really appreciate the fact that we all have some things we really like about them. We all have some things we don't care so much about them. So moving on to chapter 5, I believe before I talk about corporations, we need to talk a little bit about our free market society in the U.S. We do have free market. We are a democratic society. And there's 3 types of businesses in our society, and trust me, there's a lot of variations on this, but basically we have sole proprietorships, partnerships, and corporations. Sole proprietorships are when one person owns the business themselves. So most of you probably have owned a sole proprietorship where you've just mowed lawns or babysat, or it doesn't have to be anything formal. You can have a business, all the taxes flow directly through to you. It's simple to organize. But one of the big disadvantages of a sole proprietorship is you don't have protection from liability. You and your company are one and the same, so you do not have protection from liability. Second kind of business partnerships is 2 or more people, and it sort of has the same type of setup. Taxes flow through to the owners. It's pretty easy to set up. I always recommend that there be a partnership agreement, though, because if there's not a partnership agreement, the law assumes it's 50-50 on everything. Again, with partnerships, like a sole proprietorship, except there has to be 2 or more people. Corporation is the third kind, and there's several different kinds of corporations. Here is the difference. Corporations pay taxes on their own, then they distribute earnings to their owners, and those owners pay taxes. So there's double taxation on corporations, but there is a veil of protection. The corporation is separate from its owners, so if something happens and the corporation is sued, then the individuals aren't liable, the corporation is liable. And as we talk about double taxation, I know it's all over the news right now. Do corporations pay enough taxes? Walmart paid almost $7 billion in taxes in 2018. Netflix, little movie company, $130 million. Apple paid $15.8 billion. Microsoft paid $3.3 billion. So corporations do pay taxes. There were some big corporations, including Amazon and GE, who did not pay taxes in 2018, but that's because they were carrying forward losses from other years. Corporations also pay taxes on their worldwide income. So if Amazon's all over the world, then their total income is calculated because they are a US-based business. Walmart is the same. They pay taxes on their worldwide income, not just their US income. All right, now that we've talked about the types of businesses and taxation a little bit, let's talk about what owning a business in a free society means. First of all, it means that you can own property. A corporation can live in perpetuity. We have a right to free speech. We have a right to earn money. We have a right to spend money as we want, as long as we're doing it with honesty and integrity. And we have a right to sue other people. So that is a big deal with the corporation. Also, as individuals, we have a right to privacy, and corporations do not have that right to privacy. If you are a corporation that is publicly traded, all of your transactions are available to the general public. I like to go to Yahoo Business and look up businesses. Sometimes I look up corporate salaries. Sometimes I look up how much taxes they paid. Sometimes I look up how much they have in retained earnings. That's all information that's available if you're a publicly traded company. And because these stockholders have money in your company, then you have to report to them your actual information. And if these companies are not reporting their actual information, then they're outside the law and their officers could go to jail for that. So let's talk about what obligations corporations really have to us. If they're obeying the law and paying their taxes, do they have any other obligations? And we have a lot of people that have obligations to our societies. Our government has obligations, our states, our federal government, our states, our political parties, nonprofit, small businesses, sole proprietorship, partnerships, our church, our family. We all have obligations to our society. We all need to have a common purpose to succeed. Organizations can choose what they want to support. For instance, let's talk about Bass Pro Shops a minute. It is a privately held corporation, so we do not have access to their information, but they only support outdoor, environmental, hunting, fishing, those kind of common causes. And that's okay because other corporations support other kinds of common causes. And as we look at 3 things from a company, they have a self-interest. They are supposed to make money. That is what corporations are usually organized for, is to make money. They have rights within their organization, and they have responsibilities. And it's usually right in the middle of those 3 things where organizations choose to support either their community or a certain population of people. And I feel like I want to go back to that word, common purpose to succeed. I do believe that corporate culture starts with management, but I also believe we have had some really good grassroots movements that started with people in our community or people in a workplace. So as you're thinking about this chapter, chapter 5, think about what you really believe those corporate responsibilities are, and I'll be back to talk to you about chapter 6 in a bit.